Okay guys, this is going to be a video about my advice regarding taking gap year. Whether I think it's a good idea to begin with, and then whether it necessarily, like how to do it, right? So, I guess the first question to ask is, what's the purpose of a gap year? Like, what are you doing it? Why do people take them? And there are a number of answers. I suppose the ones I would choose, I would say it's kind of a respite to allow you to think about what you really want to do with your life, but where you're not chasing after one thing. It gives you a chance to go down other avenues in life. Travel, see the world, get a different perspective you haven't before. And it's fun as well, I think. That's no, there's not. We made no bones about that. I think it is fun, right? So that's what I see as being the three things to get out of gap year. Maybe yours is different. I don't know. But I think most people would agree on that. So I suppose the question then is, how do you go about achieving that, right? Do you... there are a number of ways. So I think I'll go through like what I think is a good way to go about a gap year, and then I'll just go about whether you should actually do it as well. So first of all, I would say you need to be... I think the number one thing is to just do something, right? Make a plan as early on as possible, because it doesn't actually matter what you do. What matters is whether you do it, and it's true of a lot of things. It's something that I preach, if you will, a lot on the channel. It's not about, like if you're going travelling, it doesn't really matter if you go to Europe or Asia, Southeast Asia, or like, it's not about the actual what culture it is. You're gonna get the kind of experience traveling from every place, right? Now, is okay. Yeah, it is. There are different cultures. I'm not saying that that's not true, but it doesn't really... I think the kind of experience that people want out of gap year, if you're going down that travel route anyway, like, you get the same experience no matter where you go, South America, Europe, South Asia, whatever. So I think don't deliberate too much on what exactly you want to do, because sorry guys. Because here's the thing, what you will find if you start a gap year and you don't have a plan, is very quickly you'll get, all your friends go off to uni, let's say, you'll be astonished by how sapped of energy and motivation you suddenly are, because for the first time in your life you got, all your friends who you're accustomed to having around you aren't there anymore, and it's just you sitting in your room, and I can remember this, and it's just very depressing, and it's going to be really hard, before you know it, like a month's gone by and you've not planned anything. So that turns into 2 months, and it's sort of compounding interest, right? and then before you know, a whole year's just gone by and you've not really done anything. So I think don't deliberate. Just get something down, because you'll be shocked by how quickly that opportunity goes. It doesn't really matter what it is, just do some bullshit that you want to do that a gap year facilitates you doing. People criticise a lot of this stuff, like, travelling like to Southeast Asia or whatever. Like, some people criticise that. Who cares? Like, just it doesn't matter how insightful, or whether it's really the right thing to do, or should I be doing this instead? Doesn't matter. Sorry, I think just do something, and do it as quickly as possible. So have that as locked down basically as soon as you can. Maybe even probably before the gap year starts. You should get things organised. Not everything, but you should get the ball rolling as early as possible, right? And just an extension on that, what you don't do, right, is you don't get a job and then start planning. You get, so let's say, I'm using the example of travelling because I think it's the most obvious example of what a lot of people do on a gap year. What you don't do is think, I'm going to get a job, and then when I've got the money, I'm going to go somewhere. You make the plan, and then you get the job to facilitate the plan. So the idea always comes first, because the kind of job you're probably going to be doing on a gap year, quite low skill, quite low pay, right? And that's going to sap you of a lot of creative energy for two reasons. One, because the job's going to be quite tough, quite hard work. And more significantly, it's going to be it's going to these jobs kind of sap you of, they're often quite boring. So if you're working in a supermarket, in a restaurant, a lot of repetitive tasks. It's not. You're kind of doing the same thing every day. It's not terribly exciting. That's going to sap you of a lot of your creative energy, right? Which, trust me, you'll need that. And it goes really quickly. So that's one thing to do. To bear in mind. And yeah, that's the main bit of advice I would give. So in terms of whether you go on one or not, I'm very split on this, because I think in a sense, people often take a gap year when they get out of school, right? That's kind of what I'm referring to. Obviously, people do it after uni. I would say that it's a slightly different thing at that point. But in terms of doing it before uni, what's the benefit of doing it before uni, really? I guess in my own mind, I thought it would spread out the experience of uni, that I was able to enjoy it more. It's difficult to know, really. Because I think at the same time, there's an advantage to getting a degree out of the way very quickly. Because, it's 3 years. Once you've got that under your belt, it's much better. So, yeah, I don't really have any strong beliefs about that. I guess just go on your gut instinct. But I think the first bit of advice I gave about making a plan as soon as possible, that is killer, guys, and I think that just applies to life in general. So I hope you found this useful.